Hello YouTube, Scamp the Wolf here, back with another video for your viewing pleasure, and it's yet again another roundup of singles and albums and stuff like that. We got 3 singles and we got an album to talk about, so we're probably gonna try to do this in a rapid succession because I don't have that much time. But the singles are Bad Omens with Spectre, just released. Also, last night we got the Deftones song Milk of the Madonna, what a title, and Trivium's Bury Me with My Screams, which is coming from a new EP that is coming soon. So that's something to look forward to. And Deftones, of course, with their new album Private Music coming in exactly 2 weeks from now. And Bad Omens coming out with something kind of soon. I don't know when they're going to release an album, but we did get the single Shiver, so those are the singles. And as for the album, it's Halestorm's new album, Everest. And yeah, let's get right into it. So, Bad Omens with their new song Spectre, of course, really hotly anticipated from 2022's The Death of Peace of Mind, which I did review back when it came out. Like, I remember doing this was around the time I was actually like listening to albums on stream and then um talking about it afterwards, which is something I don't usually do anymore. But I remember this was before Bad Omens blew up and became a big deal. I remember saying it was all right or whatever, but as they like got more popular and stuff, I did come back to the album over time, and I definitely really think it's solid. Definitely, like it's definitely better than I gave it any credit for sure. And I'm definitely looking forward to what Bad Omens has in the future, especially with this new song Spectre, which I think is very interesting in a structural sense because it starts like very like with a lot of ambience and stuff, and then it gets into like what Bad Omens usually is typically known for. You know, like there's a lot there's like that chorus that is like has a lot of melody to it, and I think the instrumentation here, like how they set it up, is very they do a good job with that. And I like this kind of like lo-fi kind of like semi-electronic aspect. They're going kind of like Matrix esque like style. Can I can probably presume they're going for with it, like very like John Wick soundtrack esque, very synth heavy. Like I guess like from what like I definitely heard from this song, and like there, it happens in some points in the song for sure, but like it is like first part is like more ambient sounding, second part's more like I guess with drums, and then like chorus and stuff, and then the third chorus, which doesn't really sound like a third chorus, which is kind of a nitpick for the song, but overall I think it's handled pretty well, like better than it has any credit to be given. But yeah, the third chorus I think is very creative with that kind of like brooding kind of atmosphere that it has, and overall I am kind of digging this song a lot. I definitely think like the Bad Omens for sure definitely have a good song on their hands here, and it will definitely do very well on the rock charts for sure, because Bad Omens is now one of the biggest bands of like metalcore. Even though like metalcore, like I don't think you can classify Bad Omens as metalcore with these songs, with the Death of Peace of Mind stuff, and with the Concrete Jungle soundtrack album that came out. And with this, I think like they would be a little bit closer to alternative metal now, for sure. But this is some really good alternative metal, for like obviously so. So yeah, I definitely dig this new Bad Omens song. And the next song we're gonna be talking about after this is the new Deftones song, "Milk of the Madonna." I didn't know Madonna was a milk saleswoman. I didn't know she went around like with a milk truck carrying like with a lot of like I don't know, she worked in the dairy business. Whatever. But yeah, that's the title that the Deftones decided to give this new single, and it's very interesting. I didn't expect this song to be the second single. I was thinking like Locked Club or like one of the other songs to be released as the second single. I don't know. It seems like Milk of the Madonna would be like and a deep cut kind of thing, but it was the second single, and it definitely catches your eye for sure because Deftones usually has the song titles that are very unique and stuff like that, and the song structures that are very unique for sure. And I mean, it's Deftones. You probably know exactly what you kind of do know what you're gonna get, but at the same time, you don't really, you don't is the thing, and that's why they're one of my favorite bands of all time for sure. And this song, I could definitely see. A lot of people have been saying Saturday Night Wrist influence, which is fair. I mean, it definitely sounds like it was cut from that cloth for sure. Um, but I personally hear like that is probably the biggest influence I hear, but it's definitely like semi Diamond Eyes Koi no Yokan era stuff for like, but like I think the production is a bit more clear than like a lot of that stuff. I mean, it's Nick Raskulinec's again on production, and I think they got the same mixer for the Diamond Eyes song, Chris Lord Alge, I think, but I'm not sure if that's the mixer or not. I would have to wait until I get the full album credits to confirm who the mixing on the song. But it sounds very clear, crisp, and definitely very good. And yeah, I definitely enjoy the song. It definitely puts Deftones in another like new realm, especially now that like the whole TikTok community and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of younger people are getting into this band that has members in their 50s now, and they sound pretty much as young as the people that are getting into them. It's great. I think like this isn't as good as My Mind is a Mountain, the previous single, which I loved the heck out of. That is a fantastic song, probably one of the best songs of the year. But this is probably another one of the best songs of the year for sure. Like if My Mind as a Mountain was didn't like fit that criteria or whatever the heck, and I'm still digging the heck out of that song, and I'll probably dig the heck out of this song too, and the album, because like, and not just because I'm a Deftones fanboy or anything like that. It's just, Milk of the Madonna is a good song for sure, definitely very solid from Deftones. And yeah, for this song, definitely a thumbs up. And next up, we're gonna be talking about Trivium. Yeah, Trivium. Bury Me with My Screams. This is coming off of their new EP that is coming out on Halloween Day. I forget what the single, the EP is called. It's something. I gotta look this up real quick. Sorry about that. I forgot the name of the single, but like of course, this "Bury Me with My Screams" single just came out, and I don't remember the name. This is probably just here. Struck Dead. That's the new EP. It's gonna be 3 tracks, and this first single, you like Trivium, you like Sin in the Sentence, What the Dead Men Say, In the Court of the Dragon, all those 3 albums, all 3 of their previous albums. You might like this song too. I mean, like, it is kind of like odd because like the thing is like this is a good song. This definitely is a good song for sure, but it's kind of more of the same, to be honest with you guys. Like this isn't like breaking any spark, like this isn't breaking really any new ground that they haven't really done before. Like yes, there's good drumming. Yes, there's good guitar work and all that stuff. Matt Heafy's a good vocalist and all that stuff. There's good all of that. All of that is competent, but I'm feeling like it's like the Sin of the Sentence was such a good album that like everything else has kind of just dwindled down a little bit more, and this song like feels a little bit underwhelming because we definitely know Trivium can definitely do a little bit more than just like Sin of the Sentence worship basically. Like we could they they can do a little bit more than that, like there is like a lot of stuff that like they've done before, Shogun, like and all that kind of stuff, and like Crusade and stuff, maybe like even like, they could try different things, like rather than just like I feel like they are becoming a bit formulaic, and with them taking 4 years off from releasing music or any new songs in of any capacity. I mean, they've had some here and there, but they've been collabs mostly. But so I don't know if I could count those. But the thing is, like, it's been 4 years since In the Court of the Dragon came out, which was kind of similar. Like, I remember definitely, but it was still a really good album. It was just similar to like everything that I'd heard before. So with this song, like, you would expect a little bit more creativity, and there's attempts. It's a definitely, like keep stressing, definitely good song, definitely good. Matt Heafy's good, Alex Benton's good, all of that. It's just I don't feel the spark from it. Maybe that's the point. Maybe this is just to hold over people until they do release an album, which is my suspicion, probably. Maybe that suspicion would be wrong when the new album comes out and it sounds kind of similar, but like to like everything they've done. But like, with this style, you need something a little bit more fresh. And while this is good for what it is, it's certainly not like reminding me of anything different other than, okay, this feels like something that would be on Sin in the Sentence or What the Dead Men Say with a little bit weaker production. I mean, Josh Wilbur coming after the awful album Anti Fragile by All That Remains. I mean, like, his production is sounding more and more muddier as time has gone on, like, which is a shame because, like, he was pretty good. Now he's just kind of faltering a little bit, but that's not a fault of the song. I still think the song's pretty good, but it's fine. It's all right. I just don't love it necessarily. I'm not blown away by it. I just think it's fine. And with that, there goes singles and the next the next thing we're going to be talking about, which is the album Hailstorm's Everest. Yeah, probably didn't expect me to be talking about this album for sure. Even though, like, I did talk about Back from the Dead a little bit, and the thing is, like, with that album, I did think there was a little bit of cheesiness to that album for sure. Like, Hailstorm has famously not been really, like, it's not really been my cup of tea, but, like, and I say this as somebody who did really enjoy the album Vicious from a couple years ago, or 2018. I thought that was a pretty good album. That definitely put Hailstorm on like a trajectory that was like pretty solid for sure. They were having a lot of fun with it. They had good production. They had all that kind of stuff with them. And I think their self-titled is actually pretty good. I mean, they had the Howard Benson, Chris Lord, Alge kind of sound to them back in that time. So, like, of course, it sounded pretty good for them in, like, with that. But here we have Everest, and this is kind of a complicated album to be talking about, mainly because, once again, I feel like this is a very, very mixed bag for me, especially in the fact that it's trying, like, so hard to be, like, like, a little bit, like, in your face, like, old school, but, like, thing is, like, it's not working, like, effectively with me, like, in terms of that, like, um yeah. And I will say, I will give this album credit. There are moments that definitely, there are, like, certain, like, aspects and ideas here on this album that I can see working very well. Like, there's a lot of, like, softer, like, instrumental passages that really work well. I mean, you look at, like, stuff like Shiver, tracks like Shiver, for example, and, like, some of the more, like, melodic, like, not distortionless. You look at some of that kind of stuff and you think, like, this is pretty solid stuff. Like, they can really pull this off. And there's a couple other moments on the album that kind of do that too. And I just think Shiver is the best example of that. It's really probably the only really good song on the album as far as I'm concerned. But the rest of this, I mean, like, a lot of this is just you can take it or leave it, to be honest. Like, it's not very memorable, and there's definitely so much cheese on this album. Like, when you have a song, like, literally, like, killing, and it's just spelled out, like, kind of like a cheerleading, like, rally or something like that, then you're really, like, I mean, come on. I mean, like, that is like some dated stuff, for sure. And there's other stuff on here. I mean, even with Lizzie Hale's projection and her vocals, like it's not really something for me. I mean, yeah, like she's definitely she would tech by all technical standpoints she would be a good vocalist for sure. She would be considered that a lot. Um, she's hitting the notes. She's projecting herself, but like, I think she's trying too hard. You know, like she doesn't like necessarily need to just like project so much to the point to where she's like projecting like sort of this weird like masculinity kind of thing, which is kind of weird to say, but like she's trying to be. It's kind of like, this is the kind of stuff that like the kind of like female fronted kind of stuff that isn't necessarily for me. But I could still probably tell when something of it is good and something of it is bad. This isn't like bad. It's just like about what I expected. It's just it is what it is. It's just Lizzie Hale like just trying to go for that guttural like high guttural kind of sound with her like vocals and like not having a lot of vulnerable moments, although there are some of them. It's just a lot of stuff, and it's just a lot of like the soloing comes ripped straight out of the 80s, like comes like comes strips like right out of an 80s heavy metal album. And that's not really my thing necessarily. um I can say there are bands that would definitely be able to do that well. I don't think Hailstorm is in is kind of in a category where they do that well. I think its target audience, Hailstorm's target audience, will probably really like this. Their fans really will like this. Even some people who like heavy metal will probably really like this, and a lot of like classic albums probably would really like this album. But it's just like it doesn't offer much. There's not a lot of like it's not varied enough. The production's like, from what I understand, the producer Dave Cobb, if I'm saying it, yeah, Dave Cobb, isn't really the best fit with Hailstorm. I kind of think that what they were doing with Nick Reskolinix, if I'm saying his name correctly, um, was working a little bit better. Even though I didn't think Back from the Dead was too impressive of an album, like yeah, there was still some cheese on that album. Like, I mean, you look at Raise Your Horns. I mean, that's a very cheesy like focus group. Just, I mean, that song's nonsense. But like, they kind of do that here with How Will You Remember Me? Like, again, ending the album on a very like cheesy. Oh, will you remember me like this, or some like basic stuff or whatever. Like, they're not very strong songwriters. I don't think Hailstorm. That's another thing. The songwriting isn't that great necessarily on this album, but it's what it is. Like, it's not a horrible record or anything. It's not even a just. This is kind of a tough one to really score because, like, I do acknowledge the effort and I do acknowledge a lot of good about it, but at the same time, this really isn't my thing. That's just what I can just chalk it down to. It's not my thing. This is probably an easy 5 for me. Like, there's kind of a light 5 to a solid 5, I guess. It's just, just you like this one, there, have it. And that's my reviews for the singles and the albums. What do you think about everything I talked about? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. This is Scamp the Wolf, signing out. Take care.